Yo, what is up guys? It is Samool talking today about Moonlight Blessing and which is the best unit out of the 6 free units you can get that are ML 5 stars to choose and actually use for your entire Epic 7 career. Now before we get started with this video though guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button to receive instant updates whenever one of my videos or guides drop, as well as to get notifications when my live stream goes live, where I've been playing on a 3-star only challenge, free to play account, which has been a very fun time. Also, if you guys have any questions about the game or about me in general, you guys can drop by the chat room and talk with me, which has also been a pretty fun way to get closer with my community. Now let's get into the video guys. So in the past, it was a very easy pick for the Moonlight Blessing. In the past, it used to always just be Arbiter Vildred for sure, and then maybe Specter Tenebria. The thing is, this has really changed over the past few months because of how the PvP meta has shifted, and also because of how many newer units are being released for PvE, so you won't see as much value honestly in like Arbiter Vildred, for example, right? That being said, if you guys have already chosen one of these units and it's not the unit that I mentioned at the top of the list, that's fine. All of the units are good, right? These are Moonlight 5-star heroes, and all of them are usable in PvP, and I guess not all of them are usable in PvE, but definitely for PvP, and they're all like at least okay. Also, they're very prone to getting buffed because Smilegate loves ML 5 stars for some reason, even though they said they're not going to buff ML 5 stars unless they really need it. I'm pretty sure they'll buff some of these on the list because a lot of people complain about these units all the time. So that being said, what do I think is the best? Let's start with actually what I think you should not pick. So there's 3 units on this list that I think you should never really pick. If you guys chose these units, it's fine. I'll talk about where they're good and where they're bad. But just keep in mind, I don't really recommend this 3. The first one is going to be Judge Kisei. So Judge Kisei used to be a premier cleave unit. Cleave unit is basically in arena offense or guild war offense, you have a unit that goes first, sets up like your buffs and debuffs, and then you have Judge Kisei come in and one-shot everything with her S3 Soulburn into her S2, because you'll see both of them are AoE attacks and S3 has an extra turn in it. Basically, she was very strong in PvP in that aspect. You would pair with like A-Lance and she'd be very powerful. Thing is, she's not as good anymore because Cleave is kind of hard to use with all all the counter units out, evasion units and Bellion and stuff like that. And also, she is, just replaced by other cleavers. You can use like Bloodblink Karen instead of her, which is a 4-star ML unit. You can use basically like any other cleaver in the game besides her. Right now, like single target cleave is actually better than AoE cleave, so it's actually pretty hard to use Judge Kisei, so it's hard for me to recommend to pull for her. Her S1 is a single target defense break, which makes her okay in early game PvE. You can use her as a single target DPS until you get Commander Lorena, but besides that, like, you're never going to use her in PvE. And in PvP, even though she's like okay as a cleaver, she's actually still good as a cleaver. It's just hard to cleave nowadays. People have been using her as like a speed opener, which is like okay because she has a chance to increase skill cooldowns and strip, but not really good. The next one I don't recommend is going to be Dark Corvus. So Dark Corvus, pretty meme unit. He's always been like this actually. The thing is, how he works is he starts with this S3 on cooldown, similar to Tamarin, and every time he gets hit, he's going to actually reduce his cooldown of his S3 by 1 or even 2 if he gets crit. His S1 is a provoke. Basically, all he does, guys, is you just wait for your S3 to be on cooldown, wait till you have your 10 souls, and you soul burn S3 and you one-shot something. It's gonna one-shot something. But it's really annoying because you can just ignore him in PvP, and it's good in Guild Wars and Arena though. But it's also annoying there because the rounds will take so long because you're just waiting to S3 3 times, which is going to take forever. But it's pretty much a guaranteed win. So Dark Corvus is good in that way. PvE not really used at all. But yeah, his PvP usage is not that good because yeah, the runs and your battles will take just forever. Next we have Ken. So Ken recently got quote unquote buff, but not that good. Yeah, basically he's just like a counter to crit, and he's a counter to like cleave, right? Basically whenever he gets crit, he just counterattacks. PvE, he's good as a dog walker in the early game, but he's still very slow because he doesn't have that great AoE. And PvP, he's just super hard to build, so it's really hard for me to recommend him. So yeah, I'm not going to really recommend him, guys. He's not that strong of a unit. So what I actually recommend, guys, is going to be one of these 3 units. So we have Ruele, Specter Tenebria, and Arby. So I think Ruele is going to be the worst of the bunch because she's a Soul Eater, which is very strong in PvP. Not that good in PvE though, but she's very good only in like bruiser comps. She has a revive with invincibility. She has a lot of single target healing. The only thing is, she seems to work in metas that are very slow, and honestly she gets countered pretty heavily by injury, and she's easily one-shottable in RTA if you stack up Battle Frenzy enough. So it's really hard to draft her nowadays because yeah, there's also a lot of counters, right, with like Extinction and honestly, other Soul Weavers just do more than her. Even though she has a revive, like you'll have other Soul Weavers that can attack buff, CR push, stuff like that, and this is way more useful. So Ruele, although being a very solid PvP Soul Weaver, honestly, I only really use her in Guild Wars, and you can't really use her in PvE because yeah, she's not as good in PvE. So that's why I don't recommend her either. And now we're stuck with the top two of Specter Tenebria and Arbiter Vildred, kind of the same as the past, but now I think the number 2 spot and number 1 spot have switched. I think Arbiter Vildred is at the number 2 spot below Specter Tenebria now, basically because, you know, he's still very good. He's a very good dog walker, premier dog walker, the best in the game. He has a S3 with no animation on his skill, which makes it really fast and will reset cooldown. And he has a revive in case he dies, right? Very powerful in PvE, has a DPS for, you know, basically anywhere. The only thing is, in PvE, there's just better options than him. You can use him as like a filler unit, but once you get like better like units from banners, such as like Asmodee 13, right? If you use Arbiter Vildred there, if you pull a green Vildred, you're going to use green Vildred. If you unlock Bomb Model Kana, you're going to use Bomb Model Kana because they're just better. For raid, right, you can use them as a single target or AoE DPS, right? Bomb Model Kana better. If you get Commander Lurna unlocked, fully enhanced with their skill tree, Commander Lurna is better and you'll stop using him, right? But he's going to be forever used in dog walking and adventure mode, but yeah, in PvE he'll start phasing out. In PvP, you don't really see him anymore. There's just too many counters, right? Extinction is too strong, right? He's running against too many tanky units, so when he revives, he can't even, you know, do more than half their health against them, even if he gabs. So you're starting to see him phase out a lot, especially after like Masters and Challenger. But in the lower ranks, you'll definitely see him, but yeah, he's not that great anymore in PvP in the current meta. He might come back, but yeah, I don't recommend him, and honestly, not that powerful in PvP anymore, so I think that's why he is fallen to the number 2 spot. Next, we have S10A, Specter Tenebria. So she's at the number 1 spot, although you can still make the argument for Arbiter Vildred, but I personally think Specter Tenebria is number 1. The only thing is, you want to use Arbiter Vildred until you clear, I'd say, all of Unrecorded History, keep him at level 50, right? You can enhance him, awaken him, right? So choose Arbiter Vildred first. Then once you clear most of adventure mode and get like Furious unlocked, right, and get your Wyvern team running, then you want to reset it and pull for, or choose Specter Tenebria at the number 1. That's what I recommend. You're going to get all your mats and all your EXP back and your penguins back from doing this, and you can use it into Specter Tenebria. And the reason why I recommend this is because, like I said, Arbiter Vildred best in the game at adventure farming. He'll make your early game super fast, but since you have the choice to reset it, just use him early game, reset him, and then choose the best option, which is Specter Tenebria, because Specter Tenebria, very strong in early game PvE, or not early game PvE. Actually, she is pretty strong in early game PvE, just not as much as Arbiter Vildred, but she's very powerful in late game PvE. You can use her in Asmodee, you can use her in Raid, you can use her in late game Abyss. She's the best DPS, right? From like floors like 90 to like 107, I'd say. Very powerful. You can pretty much slot her in for PvE wherever Arbiter Vildred would be. The only thing is she'd be a little bit weaker in adventure farming, right? You won't use her there that much. But honestly, adventure farming doesn't matter because you're going to be friendship farming your units anyways, because you want to bring units that are low friendship level so you can, you know, get them to friendship 10 because you get free Mulagora if you didn't know that. And yeah, Specter Tenebria, beast in PvP. Only thing is you can't pick her into Bellion or too many units with AoE, so it is a little bit harder to use her now, but she's still very good in the right situation. She's just super good as a bruiser. You can play Protect the Specter Tenebria comp, and she's just very strong, so that is why I recommend her. She is better than Arbiter Vildred in PvE overall, in my opinion, and in PvP, she's a lot better right now than Arbiter Vildred in the current meta. So that being said, guys, let's just summarize. Judge Key says Dark Corvus, Martial Artist Ken. Don't recommend pulling for any of them. Ruele of Light, honestly, not as well either. But then Arbiter Vildred and Specter Tenebria are tied for top 2. I think Arbiter Vildred you want to choose at the beginning of the game until you get to like Furious's connection unlocked for Wyvern, and then you can reset it and get Specter Tenebria because she's a lot better after that point. Hope this video helped you guys out with your Moonlight blessing, and as always, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel out a lot, and I hope to see you in my live stream soon playing on this 3-star only account because it is really fun. Peace.